If you think sales is slimy, you're approaching it completely backwards.
Welcome to the Push Press Podcast,
where gym owners learn to dodge bad advice, crush their competition, and actually make money doing what they love. Let's get after it. This podcast is brought to you by Nice Trail Mix, which is indeed pretty nice. I've eaten like half a bag. Only eaten 4,286 calories of trail mix.
I'm going to eat some trail mix while you open this episode.
All right. So this episode, we're going to talk about sales, the 5-letter word no one likes. Sales. And how I'm of the opinion that it is not only the most necessary component for all commerce to happen, all customer satisfaction is rooted in this first step of sales, but it's also the most broken process in all of business. And I guess I'll unpack that, and then we can dive into the episode. You can give me your feelings, since this is kind of coming more from your background and your world. There's quite literally never been a time where I've desired something that didn't mean I had to go into a sales process for it. Now, there are some things like Amazon or whatever that have been completely engineered to allow the sales process to happen self-service, self-discovery, self-information gathering, and self-purchase. But usually speaking, the more high ticket the thing is, the more likely you're going to be in a sales transaction with a person who is selling you on the other end.
Yeah. The more complex the product, typically.
Yes. And there's this interesting dichotomy between let's just use a car for an example, because it's the easiest one for everyone to imagine. I want a new car. I need a new car. I drive to the car lot. I see car salesmen circling. I get out of the car. I see them playing Rochambeau for who gets to talk to me. I see a dude approaching me and start asking me leading questions, and I immediately want to leave. But I need a car. Like, that is broken in and of itself.
Yeah, and I think to double click on that picture that you're just painting in my head here, and it's like, I also chose that car lot with a particular car in mind. So I've got a high level of interest already.
Yeah.
Like
you didn't just randomly drive to a car lot.
Yeah. Like the days of let me just roll up to the, I don't know, eeny, meeny, miny Ford.
Yeah.
It's done, right? It's like, you want an F-150.
Not only do you want F-150, but you want like the Raptor trim or whatever.
I've already decided.
Yes.
You need a little more information to push you over the edge, to get you past your own mental hurdles. Yeah.
Yeah. But the minute they start asking you questions, you start playing these games of like, I'm going to guard my information. I'm not going to tell you who I am. I'm like, you're out to get me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of that is their fault, and part of it is the consumer's fault. Like it's just broken. That's the easiest way to say it.
It is. You said something to me the other day that was, I thought it was an interesting parallel for our audience to hear, which was that the first act of coaching is sales. And if you really think about that for a hot second, it's like, you got to understand why they're here. You have to understand what they're looking for. Like, you can't even begin to coach someone to a result in your gym unless you understand these things. Mm-hmm. And that just comes with asking questions. Mm-hmm. And they don't need to be sleazy questions, I think, to your point, that puts someone on their guard. You just have to understand the human in order to serve them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they're training in the gym or buying a car. There is a pain point that needs to be solved. And there are details to those pain points that help somebody solve them faster or better.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many analogies to business, to being a coach. It is nauseating. It's also crazy to think that like connecting those dots should be easier for people. You know, sales is just coaching.
Yep. So let's jump into the 5 tactics that will immediately level up your sales program. Number 1, prepare like a pro. There are things that the best sales teams, the best sales organizations do that don't really exist in many fitness businesses. The one that comes to mind as we started preparing for this episode was battle cards. So a battle card is essentially a tool that anyone doing in sales, or anyone in sales does, that understands who they're talking to, where they're coming from, what are the common mental hurdles that they're going to have to get over in order to, buy into your product or your service. And so, for a gym owner, it might be a battle card on, I've got a person coming into my gym that's never done any type of fitness. What's their mindset? They're scared. What questions do I ask them? They're going to be different questions than the person who's coming from another group fitness gym or a 24-hour access gym or, like a Lifetime or something like that. So the battle card is that quick reference card that will help you get ready, for that person that's walking in the gym.
Yeah, and I think in general, when it comes to, again, think of this as pain diagnosis, the sales process. The more information you know, the better. And a lot of this stuff can be unearthed naturally through conversation pre-consultation, and it can feel very natural. And I think this is part of the preparation stuff. And this could even inform your battle cards, but it would be like, and let me just walk through this, and I can where my brain is going. But like, hey Nick, why are you coming in? Right? You can start asking these questions. Eventually, you find out like you're coming in because you feel like you're hitting middle age and your metabolism's slowing down, and you want to fight that. Hey, great.
All true.
That wasn't just random. And so like imagine you play that out and you get like 2 or 3 good foundational gems from the lead. You should have a battle card for every one of these things, right? Or you could even say like, hey, what do you anticipate to be kind of like a problem? Oh, I don't know if I can afford it. Cool. Pull out that battle card, right? And you can almost assemble a personalized battle card based on the fact that like Nick has metabolic concerns, he has financial concerns, and he has time concerns. He's a busy dad. Ready to go. I don't think most people do that. Like, first of all, you're not prepared ahead of time, but I don't even know if they unearth it during the conversation. But imagine if you were ready when they came in to already know 80% of the conversation you need to have.
Yep, absolutely. So preparing does encompass other things such as like, Dan booked a consult. Who's Dan? I should probably, I don't know, maybe see if I can find him on LinkedIn. Oh, he's a CEO of a company. That's different. I gotta know that he's probably going to be busy. Cool. I wonder if I have any connections with him. Oh, look, we have 7 mutual friends on Facebook. Prepare. Internally at Push Press, we call it pre-flight, our pre-flight checklist. It's like, what are all the things that you're going to prepare for before that consult walks into the gym? Do you have your battle card ready? And then the other part of preparation is, are you well rehearsed to handle that consult, or whatever your lead intake process is in the gym? That might be, have you done any role playing lately with your team? Maybe you're prepared, so you have a high close rate in your fitness business, but none of the rest of your staff does, even though you ask them to do sales. So are you doing role playing with them? Are they preparing ahead of time? So like the best sales orgs prepare for their consultations.
Yep.
So
you wouldn't believe. I go into a lot of gyms, and I've moved around a bit, so like I've done consultations at a lot of gyms. No, maybe not a lot, but enough. The amount of preparation I can tell that goes into sales, at least the gyms that I've walked into, almost zero. And that's probably giving them something. Like, I wouldn't be wrong probably to say zero. Like, didn't even know I was coming, some of them. Like, oh shit, who are you? I'm like, I was just chatting with you on your little automated chat bot. Like, you just told me an hour ago how excited I was that you were that I was coming. You clearly didn't even know I was coming. Very telling. So yeah, be a pro. Know who's coming, when they're coming, make sure people are prepared, what they might talk about, what they're worried about, and be prepared to talk about it.
Yep, absolutely. There's nothing more impressive than the red carpet treatment when you're going to buy something, which means you have to know what appeals to that person. You got to know what they're looking for. So yeah, prepare like a pro. Number 2, speed to lead matters.
I think you can say speed matters, but yes, in this case too, speed to lead.
Yep. And so what we're talking about here is it's that feeling where, I want to buy Cam wants a 3-row SUV. My wife wants a 3-row SUV. And so reached out to a couple different dealerships, same brand, to just see what they had. The fastest one that responds to me and answers my questions the most thoroughly is way more likely to earn my business than the one who responds 24 hours later. So, I mean, data shows that there's like a 9x higher conversion rate if you have a sub 5-minute reply on lead inquiries. Now, that first one can be automated, but you've got to quickly follow up with their response, and like pick up the chain.
Yeah, the automation just buys you some time because people know when they're not talking to a real thing. Maybe AI can solve that going forward, but
Maybe.
as of now. There's also something here about your intent to buy or your intent for next action, I would even say. Because in the gym scenario, you're not buying a membership by chatting in or calling in. Your intent is probably an in-gym, let me take a look, consultation, whatever you want to call it, tour, whatever. And so whatever however high your intent is for the next step intensifies how fast things are going to happen. Because in the gym scenario, like in the car scenario, you're probably going to buy because a GMC whatever is a GMC whatever. Doesn't, the nuance thereof is very, not much. But for a gym, who knows what gym is what. So the only thing they're trying to shopping for is the ability to come to your gym. And if you reply in 30 seconds, they're probably going to come to your gym right there and there, or set the appointment so that they'll come. And so it's kind of like if it was a low intent inquiry, speed doesn't matter as much. But for the most part, when people are reaching out for information on your gym, their intent's pretty damn high.
And if you get them booked for that consult or that time in the gym before the other business or your competitor, I use that term loosely, but has even had a chance to reply.
You can close the deal before they even have the reply.
And even if they reply, but you've already got the deal or the at least the consult booked, there's a chance they don't even bother booking a consult with that other business because
or they no-show it.
They've probably got X amount of hours in their brain that they're like, I'm only going to spend so much time figuring out this option here. Suck all the oxygen out of the room, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Take all the deals by being fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the next thing that really pro organizations do well is they follow up. And what that means, and I see this in so many fitness businesses, which is where Dan comes in, he does a consult, and for whatever reason, he doesn't buy. Okay. Well, I take that as like, well, whatever. I'll put him in my lead nurture and that'll be the end of it. And that does not work, like plain and simple. When I say follow up, it is like set a cadence to manually go back in and groom your lost deals or your prospects and say like, hey, Dan, it was great seeing you, yesterday. If you have any further questions, like, again, do your follow-up process. But then in day 3, hey, Dan, just wanted to check in. Did you ever make a decision on a gym to go to?
Yeah.
Day 5, day 10. But like put in the pace of following up, make it authentic. Again, another area where like automation probably falls flat. AI mainly can probably solve in the future. But like, what did I learn about Dan in that consult that I can then input and inject into each of those follow-ups so that it's not just a generic automation workflow.
Yeah.
But you got to follow up.
Yeah. I mean, pretty plain and simple. And I do think this falls into the administrative tasks that a lot of gym owners either don't delegate away or take the time to do. But if I had to bucket some of the more impactful things you can do in terms of ROI for time, it's follow up and like probably one of the next topics you have, which is like reaching back out to X leads, dead leads.
Yep.
X members.
Yep. And one other really important note before we move on to the next one here, which is like, don't rely on just one medium of following up. So don't just send email. send text, send email. Voice notes are super powerful as well because those are as authentic as it comes. There's no faking that, right?
And they can hear your passion or whatnot.
And emails get buried, texts get buried, voice notes get buried, but depending on the person's own, individual workflow, time of day, text might get buried where an email doesn't. So like mix your modalities. Anyways, that's a super technical thing.
Yeah, you know what? Before we go on, one thing I do want to point out is like, again, kind of relating everything back to what we talked at the top of this podcast, which is like, these are all acts of coaching. And I think there could be some hesitation on that one with like, I don't want to nag them. I don't want to be a salesperson to nag them. But I think the reframe you have to have is, if you own a gym and you're doing fitness, I hope to God that you actually believe what you do will change someone's life if they show up and work with you. So how you have to look at this is, that person approached you for a reason. They had a void in their life. They weren't feeling good about something. They needed help. And if they haven't found the help and they aren't going to find the help, and you let them die on the vine, you're actually allowing them to continue down the path that they were seeking to fix anyway. Right? So if you believe in your product, which I know you do if you're listening to this, you're actually hurting them by not following up and not closing deals and getting them into your gym and working with them.
Yeah. Fitness is hard. Joining a community-based gym can be intimidating to some individuals. And I think that's a disconnect too, because we're in it as gym owners. We are like, what? How is this intimidating? I got a group of people that high five each other. It's the most welcoming place ever. But that's your world. That's what you see. Just someone walking in off the street. They're a stranger. They don't know all 150 of you. You're just a bunch of weird people that high five each other. Like, why do I want to go join that? So,
and for most people who come from other like Globo gym, 24-hour type gym situations, it's actually inverse to what they're used to.
Which is headphones
on. I do my thing. I have two friends that spot me. So you've actually got to understand that not only is it foreign to them, it might be offensive to them.
Yep.
Or just hard to deal with.
And the reason to put like psyche and preconceived notions on a battle card for someone who's coming in from one of those other gyms, like understanding that area, right, and just meeting it head on. But you're right. It's not about putting pressure. So in that same example, when Dan walks from the gym and doesn't buy, it's not like, don't send them an offer to come in and join. Like, see if you can unpack why they didn't. Just help them find the right avenue, and understand, put yourself in them shoes and understand that it's difficult.
Yeah. And this is where I really lean into the whole, it's the first act of coaching business, because if you send that text with salesman hat on, your tone and everything about that text or that message is going to be different than if you send that text as like, I genuinely care and I just want to see what's going on. There's going to be a big difference in how you communicate there.
Yep, absolutely. So the next one, own your pipeline. When we say own your pipeline, what it really means is you have to understand who are the new prospects, who are the prospects that you've talked to that didn't buy within the last day, week, month, year. Who should you be following up with? Who's getting automations, who's not, just own every one of the leads and treat them with respect, because at some point they came to you looking for you to help them out of their rut, looking for you to solve a pain. And so I do think there's maybe a little bit of a disconnect of like, I need more leads, I need more leads, I need more leads, instead of I need to do more with the leads that I have and understand them like I actually care.
I think the big underpinning here, maybe the big eye-opener that you guys can have here, is your leads are not your active leads, right? You probably have 1,000 leads right now, but you think you have 4. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, for every member that quit your gym 9, 12, 15, 18 months ago, their life has changed since then. Maybe they quit for a reason A that has been solved now, and they are sitting at home wishing that they can come back to a gym, just waiting for an invite. Right?
Yep.
You'd be shocked. Like if you, this is going to be one of my newer challenges to gym owners. Like if you just open up your CRM every day and send 2 emails to old people, old members, or people who never joined, and you just ask them like, how have things been for you? I'm just curious. I'll bet you once a week you're going to get someone who's like, I was just thinking about joining a gym. So perfect that you emailed me. Let's just set up a time.
Yep. Yep. Own your pipeline and do it with authenticity, being willing to serve,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's why we even get into the business, right? So the next one I think is an interesting one, which is you have to be willing to disqualify people with confidence. And so this is actually something we practice at Push Press quite often, which is you have to know who not to sell to. Not everyone's going to be a good fit for your business, and you shouldn't try to serve everyone. So if you run a gym that is focused on adults and the, busy parents from, 30 to 50 years old or whatever, and some dad walks in and says, hey, my teenage son's trying to play D1 baseball. Can you help him? Like, can you help him? Sure. Is it going to distract from your core offering? Probably. And is there someone else better suited for it? Well, if you're focused in on a completely different avatar,
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you there's someone better off. And you will do better, have a better reputation for service, which will, go miles if you say, hey, I don't think that we're a good fit. Nate Hemphill from PSP3 down the street, that's all he does is train kids who are looking to play college athletics.
Yep. Yeah, there's two things to this. One, the amount of goodwill you get for actually referring someone to the pain point solution that they need versus what you sell will pay back in dividends over time. That's playing long-term games because that person is going to immediately trust you to the degree that they will send everyone that they think qualifies for you to you. Happened to us all the time at Push Press.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you told me to go with this competitor, but I'm sending people to you now because I trust you for that reason. I trust that you're going to handle my friends with respect and dignity like you did with me. Right? That's number one. Number two, which is actually something that needs to be pointed out because you're going to have very strong conviction to deal with, is the minute you tell somebody in a situation where they expect you to be selling them a yes answer, the minute you tell them no, they're going to immediately want to work with you. And so if you genuinely feel that they're not for you, you cannot buckle at that point. This is the red velvet rope in front of the club situation, like in the toilet paper during COVID situation. Like, people want what they can't have, as rational or irrational as that is.
Yeah. I laugh because we see this in our sales team where, we'll get a demo and our sales team will say like, hey, we're not a good fit. We don't do that thing well that you are adamant you have to have. And they'll say, oh, they'll be taken back by, and they'll go, well, can I just have a free account then? Let me play with it myself.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, like the customer's trying to figure it out. And it's like, we tried to tell you the answer is no. So
Yeah,
it does work. You're right.
That is actually one of the biggest sales hacks that like can be manipulative and you should not do for manipulative reasons.
Correct.
But just on the flip side of it, if you're trying to be a good person and do people right, you have to stand by it because they're immediately going to want to work with you the minute you tell them you're not a good fit for me.
Yep. The other piece of saying no, though, is that it protects the community, right? So if you become distracted trying to do something trying to serve someone you shouldn't, if your coaches are now trying to figure out how to help little Timmy, the baseball player, instead of helping, Dan the dad, then they're not going to do Dan the dad the correct service, and all of a sudden, like, they're going to get frustrated, and it doesn't do anything well for your business. Like, sure, you made an extra couple $100.
On that note, I'll actually add another one too. There could be someone who's perfectly qualified in terms of like what you do, but you notice something in them that makes you realize they are not a good fit for the business, right? Like they might tell you outwardly like, oh, I've been a member of 3 other gyms, but I keep having problems with the community. Like, I keep getting in these stupid fights with people, or I don't know, whatever it might be. Got to say no there too.
Yep.
Right. Which is going to make them want to work with you more. Same thing.
Yep. Absolutely. Culture matters.
Yep.
No toxic cultures. Anything else to add here, Dan?
No, I think these are 5 good tactics. I actually have a lot more thoughts. We can build more podcasts around them, but sales to me is a fascinating subject matter for that whole, it is a necessary but broken area. And I think it's actually much easier. The reason it's really fascinating to me is because it's required, it's broken. Nobody wants to do it. And if you know how to do it, you can do it very ethically and easily and effectively with just some very simple mindset shifts on how to approach sales.
100%.
It went from being one thing I'd never wanted to do at Push Press to the one thing I look forward to doing every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is one of the parts of the book I'm like so excited for people to read.
Yeah,
So-
because it is the biggest pain point, I think.
100%.
Okay. So let's close it up with a question like we normally do. I want you all to look at your businesses and be honest with yourselves. If there's one belief that you hold on to with sales, one misconception or one conception that you have that potentially is holding your gym back, what would that be? Let us know. Send us an email, podcast@pushpress.com. Let us know the one misconception that you have with sales that is holding you back right now.
Later, guys.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Push Press Podcast, where we help gym owners, entrepreneurs, and fitness enthusiasts thrive with actionable insights, inspiring stories, and strategies for growth.
Don't forget to follow the show to stay updated on new episodes. And if you're ready for more, join our free Facebook community for gym owners. Check the show notes for the link, and we'll see you next time. Keep raising the bar for your business and community.